You've just got to get to Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda in Greenville, online at gatewaydeal.com.
Welcome back to Your High School Sports, Part 2, coming to you today from Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda in Greenville, home of the lifetime warranty. You know, guys, I'm going to set the stage for us. We're at mid-season. You know what we do the second half of the season?
I'm ready for football.
Football. The first half of the season, we do a lot of other things. We do baseball. We do track and field. We do basketball. Mm-hmm. We did a great signing day. Right. You know, we do a lot of different things here on Your High School Sports. But, you know, we're getting ready to get into football season. So we want to give you a look back on some of the greatest moments that we put together from the first half of this year's Your High School Sports.
Yeah, we want to take you back some of the times where we went to Elizabethton, to the Maryvilles, we went to the ETSU baseball stadium, spoke with Chris Gordon. We want to go back to where we just did last week, the Little Man Stewart football camp.
Yes.
We talked about the Jason Witten camp, and I know Chris talked to Mr. Jennings. So, I mean, there's so many great things we did the first half of the season. We just kind of want to put it all together and compile it for you so you can see. If you missed some of our shows, you can kind of get a little snippet, but you can always catch us on yourhighschoolsports.com. But it's a great thing we're going to put together, and
yes,
I think it's really cool. We're going to get to do that before we get into football season.
Chris broke down a lot of things that we covered. One of the things that I want to talk about that, you know, was touching to me that I felt was real cool that we did here at Your High School Sports was sports for kids.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
to be able to give back to the community and give those kids that opportunity. So that was a good moment that we had, and hopefully you've got a surprise for us that we may do at the end of the year that will involve helping the kids.
Yes, right. We will. So you stay tuned right there, and when we come back, we'll discuss a little bit more, but make sure you catch all the highlights from the first part of this 2016 season right here on Your High School Sports. We'll be right back.
Can I go back to sleep in the truck since we've been here a week?
Yeah.
The revolutionary safety of the Michelin Premier family of tires is now available for more cars, trucks, minivans, and SUVs. So whatever you drive, you can take on wet or slippery roads with confidence mile after mile. Double D Tire can help you take changing weather in stride and save. Double D Tire has been family owned and operated since 1981. Owners Tommy and Flint Carter specialize in tires, alignments, brakes, suspension repairing, and custom wheels. Double D Tire would like to thank all their customers and look forward to serving you in the future.
Get the right services you need from a name you can trust at Crescent Center Drugs. Whether it's hormone replacement therapy or if you need to update your immunizations for flu, pneumonia, or shingles, Crescent Center Drugs has a professional and friendly staff, always ready to take care of you. That's why for many years, Crescent Center Drugs has been your good neighbor pharmacy. Right now, getting your medicine is fast and easy when you sign up for the IVR system. It's simple. Once your prescription is filled, your box is scanned, and you instantly receive a phone call or text for pickup. Visit Crescent Center Drugs inside the Crescent Shopping Center.
Volunteer Chevrolet is your friendly hometown dealership, proudly serving the region for over 20 years. At Volunteer Chevrolet, you'll get great offers on select new vehicles, from Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs. So come see the new look at Volunteer Chevrolet and take advantage of their great deals. Volunteer Chevrolet is still easy to find on 400 Winfield Dunn Parkway, Sevierville. Volunteer Chevrolet is a proud sponsor of YourHighSchoolSports.com, Sevier County.
Welcome to this week's Your High School Sports Special Edition. It's National Signing Day, and we're going to kick things off right here at Greenville High School. 3 players here at Greenville signed this morning. We got a lot of things covered today. Morristown West, we've got Maryville, we've got Catholic. We got a lot of show today. Plus, we'll go up to Science Hill and see who Coach Carter is sending off to play at the next level. So make sure you stay right here on Your High School Sports coming up next. You know, I asked you off camera there, you going in, the quarterback was there this year, you're number 2, he's transferring. You know, where will you go in on the depth chart at?
Well, right now it's looking like there's going to be another quarterback that's going to transfer too, so I'll probably roll into Vandy being the 2nd or 3rd string quarterback, which is, you know, a good place to start at. You know, when you're coming in, I'll get to go through spring practice, which will help out a lot. So we'll just see what happens.
I'm on the phone now with head coach of the Catholic High School Fighting Irish, Coach Steve Matthews. Coach, you just coming off a great state championship, but you had some kids sign letters of intent this morning. Talk about those young men.
Well, first we have Logan Punch. He's a long snapper going to the University of Tennessee as a preferred walk-on, and he's in an unusual position. His academic scores are so high that he's basically going to college for free, but also with the ability to long snap there for Coach Jones.
Let me ask you about that. You talked about professors and teachers. When you get to college, what's your major? What are you looking to do?
I'm going to major in engineering, and then if the school doesn't have engineering, it's going to be a chemistry major. And I know a lot of colleges, they do a 2-3 program for engineering, and I mean that's fine with me because I mean whichever way they can set it up, that's great, as long as I can get a good education. That's what's really important, because your football career isn't forever. So I really don't just look at the football athletics. I look at the education and what the school can bring in that aspect as well. So I think that's really important for me.
I know you high school sports fans out there, I mean, Chris, I tell you just a little background. He ain't going to say it about himself, but Chris has been a coach for a long time. He was a great player, great friend, but Chris has known he's going to be coaching for a long time, and he might not admit that, but he says it a lot, and I definitely have a lot of good memories of Chris and coaching and things like that. But Chris, let's kind of get into some baseball a little bit. I mean, you got a beautiful stadium, and we were talking off camera about how all facilities and things they're bringing here to Johnson City and to ETSU, and just talk a bit about your season and how you're doing and kind of where you're looking towards the future.
Well, as far as at East Tennessee State, there's never been a better time to be a student athlete. It really hasn't. I mean, we've got football coming back. We're making some big-time facility upgrades, obviously building the football stadium. And then Thomas Stadium is one of the best in the Southern Conference, honestly one of the best in the Southeast. We're very, very lucky. I mean, we've got an all-turf field, 1,000-seat stadium, and, we pack this place out. We do a great job, and we feel like we put a pretty good product on the field.
Oh, yeah. And I think from by just looking out here, guys, from you at home, I mean, this is one of the one of the best atmospheres I've been in. There's not even any fans here, so imagine here on game day.
And right beside me, or right behind me, or actually right all around me, you see the South Green Lady Rebels. And the great thing about this, they have this nice, pretty, shiny ball. That's because they are state champions. Is that right, ladies? Oh, yeah. All right. Now, is that how you was excited once you won? I mean, isn't this something to be proud of? Yeah, exactly. All right.
They want the extra gravy tonight. They want double super ice cream. Honey, you want extra gravy? Get it. Get it. Make it a bowl. Make it a bowl. 2 spoons. It's 2 spoons. 2 spoons. You want a milkshake? Okay.
Oh, you're crazy.
Keep going.
All right, here we go.
From the Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda Deal Desk, I'm Lenny Lawson.
And I'm Abby Lawson with more great reasons you've just got to get to Gateway.
15 Ford Edge, 24.9 or just $299 a month. 16 Ford F-150, 22.9 or just $289 a month. Only at Gateway in Greenville.
Welcome back to Your High School Sports, and we're here at the James Little Man Stewart football camp today, and we're joined by a special guest, Scotty Dykes. Appreciate you being on the show today, okay?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Scotty, tell us about the camp and how it got started, and we know a little background on you, and we'll get to that in a minute, but tell me how this camp got started and how we got to this point.
Well, it's kind of a funny story. I was talking to a mutual friend of mine in James, and we were talking about her insurance, and she called and was like, how come you and Little Man haven't done anything to help the youth back home with a football camp or something to show them that you can use football as a vehicle to do certain things? Right. And so I immediately picked the phone up, called Scotty Stewart, and who called James, and we had a conversation and thought that was a great idea.
It's a pleasure to see a young man. You grew up in this area. You played football at Morristown West. You went to UT, but you went on to NFL to come back to this community to give something back to you. How did this get started, and tell me about it.
Well, my brother had been talking about it, and a couple of guys who I played with and against in the conference have been talking about putting on a camping camp for a couple of years now. And we finally just came together and said, let's do it. Let's put it on. And it was the right time, and then here we are sitting here today. So that's kind of how it came about. And we really wanted to give back to the community, and not just Morristown, but a lot of different communities around here, all through the conference. So, and the message is, yes, we're out here doing football drills, but it's also about life skills.
That was the thing we talked about in our opening. I know that the two guys, the Chris's, I call them, they're on the show with me. We talk about that. I hope the kids don't come out here and just think they're getting football, drills and skills. But this is a camp that, you teach them life lessons because you've been there.
I have, and the most important thing with our kids, especially the youth today, it's the entitlement thing that's going on with our youth today. They think they're just going to make it big without the work, without going through the proper steps to get there. One thing that I want to talk to these kids about is living in the moment.
Okay.
It's all right to dream, and it's always good to look and have a future, but you've got to handle your business now.
Right.
You got to take care of what's right in front of your face now.
You do.
And so I want kids to know that, do the right things. School, family, all those things are very important. That's what molds you, shapes you, and makes you into the person you're going to become.
Yes.
So, but it takes each small step. You can't jump over these smaller steps to get to the bigger prize.
But let's set it up here. And as you can see, looked like Elizabeth was off to a great start. Familiar face there, Mr. Jalen Smith that we know on the football field. He looked like he was going to be on fire. He scored, I believe, the first 4 points of the game. But what happened is CAK caught fire from the three-point zone. And, man, they were on fire. They had guys like Mr. Solak. He had 5 3-pointers. And something got into us that said, we're not going to give up. Right. Even though I saw a couple people kind of get up and leave. But I was like, I got a feeling something's about to happen here. And believe it or not, even though on the statistics, it looks like Elizabeth was on fire with the threes because they had 11. But it's a little deceiving because when you're down that many points, you got no choice but to just fire them up. So as you can see in the video, we struck fire real quick, but too late. And from that point on, with just a few seconds left, CAK comes out with the victory. And one interesting thing about CAK, the team had a little fun with that victory. They got a little dabbing going on. I didn't get that on video, but they had a little dabbing and some of the little ceremonial dances they were doing, so I thought it was pretty cool.
Welcome back to Your High School Sports. I'm your host, Roddy Woods, and I'm with senior quarterback from Science Hill, Mr. Justin Bernard. And Justin, we appreciate you taking time. I know football season's over now and you're getting ready to graduate and move on. And, I want to ask a few questions about things. The 4 years you're here at Science Hill, how did it help you prepare to go on to where you signed to play college football at?
I think the biggest thing was really just the competition that we had every day at practice. Like the program that we've kind of built and the players that we've had, with Malik and then my freshman year going back to Reed Hayes and those guys. Just to be around the high level, the best players in the area every single year, it just makes you raise your game, and that's how college is everybody's a great player. So I've been used to that though my whole career.
I know that you have already committed to go play college baseball down at UT. How does, when you go up against a team like Jeff County or Cott County or Morristown West, how does that affect you?
Not at all. I'm just living in the moment. I'm not really thinking about UT or anything that's going on at the time. I'm just trying to think about get that guy out.
And go up there and get a W for Sevier County?
Yes, sir.
Welcome back to this special edition of Your High School Sports. We're at Holston Homes right here in Greenville, and we've got a special gift for them from Gateway Ford. Kevin Ross is here, and Miss Mary Frank
Madera
is here representing Holston Homes, and we're here as part of the big sports giveaway, Sports for Kids from Your High School Sports. We really appreciate you guys, especially Gateway, stepping up and being a part of this, because these gifts go to so many kids that are deserving here at Holston Home, don't they?
Well, and that's what's so exciting here at Holston Home. We say that what you want for your children and grandchildren, that's exactly what we want for the children that we serve here. So we are so thankful to have, good. See, it's really good basketball. We got all this lovely stuff. So we are so thankful for what y'all do for us and, to support our ministry and our children. It really means a lot.
But here's the unique thing about the Ball brothers. Well, there's 2 of them that are brothers. 2 others have the same last name, Ball. The 2 twins, Lorenzo, which he and his brother, they're going to UCLA, by the way. Lorenzo is actually being looked at as the All-American Player of the Year. Wow. But I just thought it was cool because not just that they're last names are Ball, but, could you imagine a game being called? All right, with the ball is Ball passes the ball goes up, shoots ball scores. Oh, loose ball, ball gets the ball gets the loose ball. Who's got the ball? Well, Ball's got the ball drills back down, ball goes up, and Ball dunks, all right. So I just thought it would be a hoot to just listen to the Ball brothers during a basketball game with the balls being in action.
We're on the phone now with our correspondent up in the Tri-Cities area, Mr. Bart Lyons. Bart, tell us about the experience last weekend at the Jason Witten camp.
I'll tell you, the 14th annual Jason Witten football camp, I'll tell you, the Witten family really, they roll up their sleeves and they put on a class act, top-ranked football camp for the youngsters. We had kids from Mountain City, Mossheim, Morristown, and the great state of Montana that attended the camp this week, and it was real good. Had about 1,200 kids, and again, man, Ryan Witten, Sean Witten, and of course Jason Witten, the grandparents, the mothers involved, the community. It's an awesome thing. 1,200 kids free of charge.
It's good to see that you're with a good program. And speaking of a good program, we talked about this off camera. I was actually joking with one of our former players, Scotty Dykes. I said, is Mo Kelly going to bring that big Super Bowl ring? Which I knew you weren't going to do that, but
speaking of Super Bowl ring,
yes, sir.
I did bring it.
Oh,
yes,
okay. We got a special treat.
I told Dykes that I was going to bring it, and I do have it here in my nice little Tiffany's bag.
Oh, yes, sir.
This is the first time I've taken it out of the safe, and I don't wear it. It's a conversation piece in itself, but
special surprise we have right here on Your High School Sport. Whoa, this got a little bit of weight on it, man. I think I could work out. Now let me compare this ring with got a little bit of weight, a little bit of size on it. That's a beautiful ring. We would like for you to be able to give, just some word of advice to maybe kids who need a little inspiration and encouragement, and maybe a little word, that something that may be said today may be just that little edge that gets them over to one day they may be a guy like you and can make their dreams fulfilled. So if you got just a word or something you could say for the kids.
I mean, well, when you're talking about high school basketball, I think that's really where the dream begins. You grow up with a group of guys that hopefully got that. Like I said, I always go back to winning with me. That was the most important thing. It wasn't about what I could do individually, but as a team, as long as we got the win, that was one of the most important things. So take winning seriously. I know in this day of age, they always, pretty much everybody's a winner these days. Everybody gets a trophy, this and that. I mean, I didn't grow up in that era, but it seems like a fun era right now. But for the most part, have fun. I mean, the game is of basketball or any sport that you play, I think you should take it seriously. But at the same time, if you're having fun, I think you're going to enjoy it more. I think that's why I smiled on the court so much. I think that's why I laughed with my teammates so much, because it just was a fun thing to do. But don't neglect the hard work of it. Don't neglect the repetition of being out there every day. And definitely don't neglect the conditioning. I think a lot of people take for granted that being in great shape is easy, and it's not, especially in basketball. The sport is continuously moving, and I realized that early in my career as a 10th grader, I was up jogging in the mornings before school. I would come back in my little dusty driveway and shoot my 200 jump shots and then go to school, So, I mean, it's things you got to do to be really good, and you got to also understand a lot of other people want to be good. So you're going to run into those people one day, and if your game is on point, I'm thinking you're going to be happy with whatever kind of success you have. If your game is not on point, it will be shown.
Just look at all those freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sure it makes you want one or a dozen right now. So come visit our locally owned and operated Krispy Kreme donuts in Pigeon Forge. Our Krispy Kreme donuts are made fresh daily, our service is fast and friendly, and the taste will put a smile on anyone's face. Krispy Kreme is a fundraising favorite, so call us today to help support your school or community fundraising efforts. Our delivery truck is there when you need us. Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge.
Get the right services you need from a name you can trust at Crescent Center Drugs. Whether it's hormone replacement therapy or if you need to update your immunizations for flu, pneumonia, or shingles, Crescent Center Drugs has a professional and friendly staff, always ready to take care of you. That's why for many years, Crescent Center Drugs has been your good neighbor pharmacy. Right now, getting your medicine is fast and easy when you sign up for the IVR system. It's simple. Once your prescription is filled, your box is scanned, and you instantly receive a phone call or text for pickup. Visit Crescent Center Drugs inside the Crescent Shopping Center.
Volunteer Chevrolet is your friendly hometown dealership, proudly serving the region for over 20 years. At Volunteer Chevrolet, you'll get great offers on select new vehicles, from Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs. So come see the new look at Volunteer Chevrolet and take advantage of their great deals. Volunteer Chevrolet is still easy to find on 400 Winfield Dunn Parkway, Sevierville. Volunteer Chevrolet is a proud sponsor of YourHighSchoolSports.com, Sevier County.
Welcome back to Your High School Sports. I'm Chris Reddick, and we're here with another special guest. We've been meeting a lot of great people. Well, great friends of mine as well as great athletes. And, of course, this is a great athlete, but a little bit more special than just a friend. This is actually my brother. This is Mr. Anthony Reddick. This is somebody we've talked about a few times on the show. Of course, one being that great upset when Memphis defeated UT, which we'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. But right now, we want to acknowledge my brother because he was just inducted into the Carter County Sports Hall of Fame, and that's such a great honor that Carter County is doing, and I'm so proud of him. And I actually got to introduce him for his induction into the Hall of Fame. So, Anthony, we're glad to actually have you here on Your High School Sports. We've talked a lot about you, but you're finally here on the show, so it's glad to have you.
Thank you, Chris, and just thank you for great speeches you did for me last night. I'm truly honored and honored for the Carter County committee for voting me in. Just thank you.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Like I said, I enjoyed it. It was a pleasure, and it was an honor for me to be able to do that. But it was a great event. A lot of names were dropped. A lot of people being inducted, like John Holtsclaw, Tim Clips from Cloudland, Danny Clark, who I went to high school with. He got in as a coach from Milligan. And, of course, Coach Lynn Dugger, legendary Coach Lynn Dugger, who won a state championship for the girls. And actually, you had a chance to play for Coach, didn't you?
I sure did. Coach Dugger really laid the foundation for me now, because I'm actually a coach in Georgia for my younger son, Joseph Reddick, and older son, Christopher Reddick, Georgia Excel basketball team, AAU. But Coach Lynn Dugger, he really laid the foundation as far as how to play the game, attitude, and just being the best overall teammate first, and then, of course, being a leader on the team. So he did an excellent job, as well as Coach Carver, who actually inducted Lynn Dugger last night. So it was a phenomenal event.
Oh, yeah, awesome. Like you said about Coach Dugger, we see those values instilled in you to where I can now see where I've witnessed you coach that championship Georgia XL team, to where I see you not just coaching to win games, but you're coaching to be winners off the court and instilling those values that you've been taught.
Exactly, and that's the most important thing is attitude, to make sure the kids know how to play the game on and off the court, and while getting their better skills up to perform on the basketball court. But you said it best, Chris. Coach Duggan instilled the attitude on and off the court, which is awesome.
Well, let's back up a little bit. And last night we talked about two things: building your foundation, which making you the person who you are as far as having good character and integrity. And those two things we talked about was faith, and foundation in faith, and a foundation with family, and how important a family is. And one of the leadership roles in our family, of course, was our father. And I didn't have time to share this story the other day, but I did want to point out this story. One of the things where he inspired us, we always would hear all the legendary stories from our father, but one particular story that we wanted to talk about that it challenged us, and it challenged us to go to the NFL, because we always had to hear that story where he had that chance to go to the San Francisco 49ers. You want to share that story?
Yeah, we heard it probably every day. So it really inspired me and you to beat that feat. Unfortunately, we came a little short, but I can kind of take it a little step further with my kids. Now they probably heard me say I got a letter from the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I'm still trying to take it on ahead to my kids. So that was awesome.
Yeah, unfortunately, Anthony, he probably could have had a shot at playing in the NFL, but his fifth year, he was actually redshirted one of his years because of a medical redshirt, but his fifth year, he got hurt again and had a knee injury, so he wasn't able to fortunately go to the NFL. But you're doing great things in other aspects with your family and with your team. But what we're going to do, we're going to have to actually talk about this famous Memphis UT story on the next episode of Your High School Sports. But like I said, Anthony, it was great to have you on the show today.
Thank you, Chris. And once again, I'd just like to thank Carter County, the committee, and voting me in. And it's been a great weekend. Thank you.
Awesome. Be sure to catch part 2 of this interview where we will talk about the Memphis UT game a little bit later when football season starts. We'll be right back with more of Your High School Sports right after this.
The revolutionary safety of the Michelin Premier family of tires is now available for more cars, trucks, minivans, and SUVs. So whatever you drive, you can take on wet or slippery roads with confidence mile after mile. Double D Tire can help you take changing weather in stride and save. Double D Tire has been family owned and operated since 1981. Owners Tommy and Flint Carter specialize in tires, alignments, brakes, suspension repairing, and custom wheels. Double D Tire would like to thank all their customers and look forward to serving you in the future.
Just look at all those freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sure it makes you want one or a dozen right now. So come visit our locally owned and operated Krispy Kreme donuts in Pigeon Forge. Our Krispy Kreme donuts are made fresh daily, our service is fast and friendly, and the taste will put a smile on anyone's face. Krispy Kreme is a fundraising favorite, so call us today to help support your school or community fundraising efforts. Our delivery truck is there when you need us. Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge.
Welcome back to Your High School Sports, coming to you from Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda, home of the lifetime warranty. This is part 2. We've been here, did you take a nap?
I took a long 7-day nap.
We like Kevin really well, so we figured we would do 2 shows here at Gateway here in Greenville. So, things about that was a great show. We put a lot of things in there. I know some funny moments, but a lot of informative things. Like you talked about sports for kids. Right. You talked about going to ETSU baseball. A classmate of yours. Right. A lot of different things we did. But something about Carter County. What was that?
Oh yeah, you saw something new in that piece this past week while I was sleeping in the truck. Carter County had the Carter County Sports Hall of Fame, and I was able to capture that. And one thing that was special about that is that my brother was induced to the Carter County Sports Hall of Fame. So that was just a great moment. So I had since I have the creative ability of editing, I kind of put that piece in there.
I don't blame you. You're supposed to. Give your brother some hype. So he went down and beat Peyton down there.
Ooh, yeah, we don't talk about that.
All right, guys. For Chris Blevins and Chris Reddick, I'm Roddy Woods. I hope you've enjoyed part 2 coming to you today from Gateway Ford right here in Greenville, home of the lifetime warranty.
I want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July.
Yes. Happy 4th. So get out, share with your family, have a great time. Be safe. That's the main thing. Be safe. We'll see you right here next time on Your High School Sports.